We back. We back. We back. Welcome back to the official G Talk channel. Right, good to be back. And as always, if you hadn't, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Right, if you hadn't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you share the content. But anyways, good to be back. I am back. This is another edition of G Talk. Right, by the man himself, Mr. G Talk. As always, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everything you doing right is prospering. I just hope that everything for as you and your family is concerned. I hope everyone is doing well. Good to be back, right? Good to be back. We are back for another edition of G Talk, right? And I got a great topic, right? Got a real good topic, right? You ready for it? Right, y'all ready for the topic? Today I will be talking, or giving rather, 3 tips for a healthy relationship or marriage. I'm gonna say that again. 3 tips for a healthy relationship or marriage. Right now, before we get into the video, as I always say, this is my advice. This is not law, right? Right. Don't quote me on whatever I say is law, right? Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just a scientist or what have you, right? I'm just giving my take 3 healthy tips for a relationship or marriage. And of course, it's always like if my three are not a big deal to you, are not a big deal to you, which is fine because I know it's more than 3, right? I'm not saying these the only 3. I'm just giving you my 3, right? 3 healthy tips for a relationship or marriage, and also, right, when we say healthy, because a lot of people get this confused, right? A healthy marriage, not a perfect one, or a healthy relationship, not a perfect one, right? So saying that by meaning that what I'm saying is like no relationship is gonna be perfect anyways, right? So I don't want y'all to take my advice or take anybody else's advice and say, well, I'm gonna use this advice and my relationship or my marriage to be perfect. No such thing, right? But you know, healthy, right? You can have even with arguments, even with disagreements, you still can have a healthy relationship. Never gonna be perfect, right? But it is a such thing as a healthy relationship, right? I just want to clear that up. But moving on, 3 tips. I'm three tips for a healthy relationship or marriage. Right. I'm gonna get right into the video. I'm not gonna hold y'all long. Y'all just give me a couple minutes. And I'm gonna give you my three things on a healthy marriage. Right. So getting right into it. Right, getting right into it. And where I want to start, this ain't even one of the tips, right? I just want to say this because I don't want to leave this out and then y'all say he forgot to say such and such, right? So I could easily put in love, right? I didn't include love in the 3 tips because I just feel like love is a given, right? Like when we go to marriages and relationships, I'm hoping, right? In my opinion, love is a gift. I'm hoping we all get in relationships with people we love, right? So I don't think I should have to put love when we go into putting tips, right? So I didn't put love in there, but of course, a healthy tip in relationship or marriages is loving the person, right? And I think I also need to add on there is a difference between love and lust, and that's for another day. I don't really want to get into love as a whole, but love is definitely important, especially love in the sense of a action word, not just the emotion side of love. If you get what I'm saying, right? Some people get that kind of mixed up. In most cases, speaking emotional is the lust versus love that get people in trouble. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get too deep into it. I just want to speak on it real quick, right? But like I said, love is a given, right? Excuse me. Love is a given when it comes to a relationship, right? So like I said, I didn't want to mess people up where I get to talk. He didn't even say love, right? He just get right over. No, that's not what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying that love is too easy, right? That would have been too easy for me to include that one, right? But moving right along, right? The first one I got, right, when it comes to keys to a healthy or 3 things for a healthy relationship or marriage. My first one would be I got my list right here. I'm just real. Like I'm real detailed. Like I like to write down to see it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, aside from that, my first one would be, and this is not in order like priority. I just got 3 I wrote down, and I'm gonna talk about them. So don't. I mean, even though I got my first one, that's not like what I'm saying. Like it value the other ones. It just that's how I wrote them down, right? So first on the list, as far as writing them down, would be commitment. All right. My first tip for a healthy relationship would be commitment. And I'm gonna add discipline along on the same side of commitment. But anyways, commitment, like we all say, like we committed, like whatever. Commitment is a big thing in anything you do, regardless. Like if you were trying to become a better basketball player, you just got to be committed to the craft. If you're trying to become a better barber, you got to be committed. A better entrepreneur, like whatever you're doing is going to require a commitment. So therefore, being in a relationship with somebody is no different. Like you must be committed. And committed in a sense, that's why I said discipline. Committed in a sense, well, can we be real? Right? I be real. Committed in a sense of, even when you, like when the person is aggravating and you don't even feel like, okay, you don't even feel like being around that person, your discipline or your commitment got to say, you know what, even though we're on the best term, this is what I committed to, right? Even though we're not seeing eye to eye right now, this is what I committed to, this is what I'm gonna go with. So I am committed, like and I'm talking about both people, like fully committed to each other, fully committed to doing right by each other, not letting nobody come between that, like always being committed, not always seeing eye to eye, but we are always committed to each other, right? Definitely must be committed. Just a little background for some that don't know, I have been married now for five years. I'm 5 years, right? I get the, the longer you go, you get the numbers mixed up. So I hope my wife, if you see this, don't take it personal. But 4 or 5 years, we have been married, and commitment is definitely a thing. Once you decide to be with somebody, especially marriage for the rest of your life, then you really got to be committed. And like I said, as we all know, at times in relationships, like it get ugly. And I'm not talking like in the sense of ugly like far as to the abuse level. That's a whole different level of ugly. But I'm talking like ugly in the sense of, like, as time go on, uh both people get, I wouldn't say like fully aggravated with a person to the point where you just tired of dealing with them, but aggravated in the sense of um your mind start to wander. You just be like, man, here we go arguing again. Like stuff start to get old, habits and stuff creep up, um, and different things happen, and then that's when you just be like, you know what, I must be like my commitment got to kick in, right? Like I said, there's gonna be times, if it haven't been times, like in a relationship where you just gonna be like, you know what, I really don't feel like doing whatever it is today. Like I really don't feel like not arguing. I ain't even talking about arguing. I really don't feel like, seeing this person today, talking to this person today. I really don't feel like doing nothing but just, doing me. And then that commitment, or discipline. That's why I said discipline kick in. You be like, but you know what? Uh, this what we both committed to. So we gonna figure out how to make it work, right? We don't see eye to eye about this. We don't see eye to eye about that. But we agreed to, we are committed to each other. So we gonna try to make this work. So definitely, one of the tips to a healthy relationship is definitely, man, you gotta be committed. Good terms, bad terms, must be committed. Making money, not making money, must be committed to each other, right? Definitely, that's my first one on the list, is commitment. And that's just basically choosing us two, right, over anybody else, over the outside noise, over our friends, over our family, over whatever, over sports. We just always got to be committed to us. And that is a mindset. One thing about having that commitment mindset is when the at least for me, when disagreements come up, they easier to handle because we are both committed to each other, right? If that makes sense. Like the disagreements are easier to handle because it's not like in the back of my head I'm thinking like, man, this it, I'm gone. Or she thinking, man, in the back of her head, this it, I'm gone. Since we are committed to each other, it's like, okay, it's an argument. It's more on the line of, you know what, we ain't seeing eye to eye, but we'll get through this because we are committed to each other. Like versus, you know what, we ain't seeing eye to eye, we might was gone, we might was gone, call it what it is, and go our separate ways. No, we're not seeing eye to eye. But since we both got the mindset of commitment towards each other, we will get past anything we going through because the mindset is we are committed to each other. So definitely, commitment is something that'll make a relationship healthy. Always be committed to each other, right? The first one is commitment. Moving on, moving right along. The second one I got on my list is communication. Mm. I can go on and on about communication, and communication is especially in a relationship. Like it's one of the most beautiful things when both people are on the same page, and the communication level is there. Man, it made a relationship like run so smooth. Communication is just like up there, like of course there's some other stuff that's top of the top, but in my opinion, in a relationship, communication is right there. Like whatever you put top of the top, you gotta have communication right there with each other. And I'm not even talking about like the communication like far as like talking like, and I think that's what people get lost at times when you say communication in a relationship. They think like verbal communication, like just talking and texting and stuff. Communication is much deeper than that. I'm talking communication on the level of I know what you thinking, you know what I'm thinking, hand signal, face expressions, um what this look mean, what that look like, that kind of communication. And once you get each other, like once you learn your communication, man, everything will run so much smoother. Once you learn like this what she like, this what he like. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of communication. I know this gonna get on their nerves. I know I can't do this. I know that can't. Right. Once you get the communication down, a whole lot of stuff run even smoother. Because you won't never have to like question what a person or what your partner is thinking, because our communication level is so fine that I kind of got an idea of like what my partner is thinking, right? Even when, and another thing communication do, it's gonna be arguments, but it kind of narrow down arguments, because when the communication is good, you can kind of see like, you know what, I know this right here might start an argument, and you can kind of learn how to put the argument out faster, because our communication level is is so in tune, right? Of course, another part of communication is tone, right? So there will be times where either person is right about something, right? But since your tone is not right, it's just like adding fuel to the fire, right? And that was one of the things, just being transparent. That's one of the things I had to learn early on in my marriage. I remember it was times like when we first got married, or we was going towards getting married, I was kind of um at times like egotistic or arrogant, if you will, right? So I was kind of like right about stuff, but it was like I was like coming off like it just a ill way, like, like real sarcastic, and that even though I was right, that wasn't the right thing to do, right? So in most cases, what happened is I can be right about something, but since my tone is not right, since I'm being sarcastic about it, now it's not an argument going farther and farther versus actually putting it out. Or I can be right about something, and instead of explaining it in just like a natural way, like a cool way, like I said, that ego kick in, I just go to saying like slick stuff, and it just go from one thing to the next. Or it go from, since I'm being sarcastic or since I'm being arrogant, now my wife is being arrogant, now her ego kick in, now we, like now we in a full brawl argument, or full blown argument, because I just kind of let my ego get involved, and I kind of just start being funny, start being sarcastic about different stuff, so it make it even longer. And that was, like I said, that's just one thing I had to learn. Like when talking in communication, tone is everything, right? How you say something. We hear people say it all the time. It's not what you said, it's how you said it, right? That's a real thing. I don't know if people like understand that, but that's definitely a real thing. It's not what you said, it's how you said it. And it has been times like it was the other way around. My wife, she has said stuff, and this, like it go back and forth. And I have to tell her, she don't have to tell me like, okay, you was right, but you didn't have to say it like that, right? Yeah, you was right, but you didn't have to like make me feel slow about it, right? So definitely, tone is a big thing that play into communication, like how you say stuff. Another part, like I said, is facial expressions, and another part of communication is like knowing what your partner is thinking. Like once you get to that level, I'm telling you, like everything runs so much smoother. Um, Me and my wife are at a point now where if somebody ex like had an idea about something, I can pretty much tell them like, nah, she ain't gonna want to do that, right? Because our communication is just that in tune. Like I ain't even gotta ask, like, somebody say, hey, let's do this, and I say, well, I don't think I'd be there, just being honest, like, I don't think my wife want to do that, right? And it's vice versa. Somebody can come to her idea about doing something with us as a couple, and she can say, no, I don't think George want to do that, right? I don't think he gonna really be into that, because our communication level is that in tune. So definitely communication is a big thing. It's much deeper than just um talking to each other. Like, communication is on the whole, it's levels to it, right? It's layers to communication. Like I said, the talking is always important, right? But then you got the what this facial expression mean. What does, when she say this, what is she really saying, right? And especially through text messages, because that's what people get confused the most. So once the communication get good, you can kind of like read the text, and you can kind of read it in their voice, or you can kind of see exactly what they're saying through the text message, just based off y'all communication. I know a lot of people don't like, especially if it's an argument or if it's just something serious. They don't like to text about it. They want to talk on the phone so they can hear the tone and stuff like that. But after a while, if you can get the communication level right, you can, you know what I'm saying, like, you can kind of dissect what they're saying through the text message too. And like I said, communication just make everything run uh that much smoother. Ain't no toes being stepped on, ain't no lines being crossed, because we kind of know like where we at with each other. Like, far as our communication, we kind of know, this a yes, this a no. And then anything that's a maybe, of course, you just be grown folks about an ex. Like, anything that I'm unsure about, far as ideas, I'll just be like, you know what, I get back with you when I talk to my wife, right? Once again, going back to communication, I think one of the worst things that can happen in a relationship is a person say yes to an idea, and you just answer for your partner and you wasn't sure, right? Now that throw the whole communication off, right? So if somebody asks you about a party, like, hey, do you and your wife want to come to a party, we're gonna be doing this, and you say yes, but you didn't check with your partner. Now you go home and tell them like, hey, this is what we're gonna do, and they say no, right? Now it's like, well, first thing they'll say was, why you didn't check in with me first, right? Don't answer for me if you weren't sure. So definitely just little stuff like that is always, man, always important. Like, communication is a big thing in a relationship, if you want it to be healthy. Like I said, I put communication up there, like, with the top of the top for relationships. Whatever you value the most in your relationship, communication should be right there. It'll make your relationship run that much smoother, right? Moving on. Last but not least, the last thing that's healthy for a relationship or a marriage is, and this one is good, right? Especially in this time of age, this one is real good. The third thing is, do what works for you, right? And I tell people this all the time, like, it's couples. Do what works for you guys, right? Um, we are in a time now where people got like so many ideas of how marriage and relationships is supposed to work, right? And especially with social media, right? The man supposed to do this, the woman supposed to do that, right? He supposed to make this much money, she supposed to make that kind of money, he supposed to pay this bill, she supposed to pay that bill. She don't need, right? She don't need supposed to work if she don't got, like, it's just so much going on as far as relationships. And I wanna say this, I wanna clear this up too. I do think in relationships, some stuff gotta be solid, in the sense of, like I said, this is my opinion, for as healthy relationships, 5 years in marriage. So I'm not a guru, but this is stuff that I value, and this was been working for us. Some stuff got to be solid, right? I do believe the man should be the head of a household. Um, Stuff, I think roles like that got to be solid, right? I'm not saying like in the sense of do what you want to do, for as um like, if it's come down to taking the trash, I'm not saying like the woman should be taking out the trash, because we saying, well, do what work for you. No, I'm saying like the man got to be the man. I will say that the man got to be the man. He gotta lead. I'm old school. I do think a man should have a job. I ain't really getting to how the bills should be split. That's why I brought this topic. Do what works for you. But some stuff do got to be solid. So I'm not like just saying just flip the scripts for a gender. But in the sense of when I say do what works for you, don't let society dictate how your relationship or your marriage is gonna work, right? In the sense of like bills, right? Like so you have different ways like the bills is gonna go, right? And it's gonna be different for everybody, right? So do what works for you. If 50-50 works for you and your wife, don't let nobody feel, especially if y'all happy. Like if 50-50 work, both people agree to it, and then you go on Instagram and then you see what the women say or you see what the men say, well 50-50 ain't how it's supposed to go, but it's working for y'all. Don't let nobody change that. If the man is picking the kids up from school and then you get on Instagram and somebody say that's the woman job to pick the kids up, but it's working for y'all, don't let nobody, like, do what works for you. It's nothing wrong with doing work. It's gonna be different for everybody. Every relationship is different. Every personality is different. So just because what worked for your grandma and granddaddy, it might not work for y'all, right? And it's designed to be like every relationship is gonna be different. Some people like go on a date every 2 weeks. Some people go on a date once a week. Some people probably don't go on a date but once a month. But whatever works for you, like don't let nobody pressure you into thinking that man, we doing it wrong. We gotta do it. Well, such and such cross town, they go out of town every month. Why we can't go out of town every month, right? Well, such and her husband, they go on dates every 2 weeks. Why we can't go every two? Like whatever works for you, do it and don't feel bad about it, right? I think that's what get a lot of people in trouble, couples, because you get caught up in doing what other people are doing, right? Well, he just bought his wife a new car. Why I can't get a new car, right? And the other side, of looking into other people's marriages or relationships, you never know like what's going on. That's why that's so dangerous. Like I tell people, that's a dangerous game. Like comparing your relationship to somebody else's relationship is a dangerous game because you don't know what their relationship consists of, right? And in most cases, it's nobody putting out the bad stuff that's happening in their relationships, right? So yes, they put the new car on there. Yes, they put the new house on there. Yes, they put the vacation on there, but they don't put the arguments on there, right? They don't put the what led up to the vacation, right? So it might be a woman that's get a new car, right? But you don't know, and I'm not speaking on nobody's situation, but I'm just saying like we all know situations, right? So it might be a wife to get a new car, right? But we don't even know that's a makeup gift, right? The husband just got caught cheating. The husband just had a baby on his wife and he went and bought her a car. But what they put on Instagram is the new car, and she put the caption, yeah, my husband's showing out, he bought me a new car. But the full story is never told, right? So once you get to like trying to compare your relationship to every other relationship and you start trying to do what other people do, that's where you get in trouble, right? I'm old school. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So whatever, if going on a date twice a month being working for you, but everybody else go 3, it's not broke though, right? This relationship is fun for us going on dates every two weeks or twice a month, right? If you want to go out of town twice a year, but you see other people go out of town 4, 5, 6 times a year, but y'all relationship is fine, it's not broke, right? The relationships, in a lot of cases, the relationships become broken when you try to compare to everybody else's relationships, right? So now instead of valuing what you got, you get envious of what somebody else got, and you don't even know if they really got it, right? So definitely, I can go on and on and on about like do what works for you. Like it's so many levels to that, but I won't. I just keep it like real simple like that. Like really, like do what works for you, right? If it's not broke, don't fix it. I'm telling you, like you'll enjoy doing what works for you. Don't compare your relationship to nobody else relationship. And just kind of keep it between y'all two, right? Going back to commitment, right? But that was my 3 tips. And like I said, don't go to whoever and say, man, you know, whatever he said is law, right? Like I'm just giving advice, right? I'm just giving advice. This why I enjoy doing, helping somebody if I can. I don't care if it's doing but help one couple. I just love helping people. Going back through the 3 things, right, that we talked about today. Commitment. Be committed to one another, right? Us two versus everybody else. Communication. Learn how both of y'all like to communicate. What does face expression mean? What does this text message mean? What does this hand signal mean? When we lock eye contact, learn everything about your partner, like far as communicating, it'll make the relationship a whole lot smoother. And then last but not least, do what works for y'all, right? Whether it's date night once a week, whether it's date night once a month. If it's working for y'all, don't change it for nobody. right? Don't get side out and start peeking into other people's relationships, because it's impossible for you to know the details of other people's relationships, right? So those are my 3 tips. Take them and run with them, man. Write them down, practice them, enjoy them. Practice them, try them out. Work with them. And like I said, of course, it's always we know relationships take more than just them 3, but those are the 3 I shared today. I hope I help somebody out. And as always, if you are not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button, right? I'm waiting on you. Hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that subscribe button. Any detailed questions you have, drop them in the comments. Inbox, drop them in the content in the comments. Anything you would like to hear me speak about, drop them in the comments, and I'll try to make it happen. Until next time, everyone be safe. I am out. See you guys next time.